remind me of your boys' names? It's been Bryson and Lucas. Bryson and Lucas, did you want to come up for a story this morning?
My shoes fell off.
Did your shoes fall off? Come and have a seat. There he is. Oh, no wonder they fall off. I have shoes like that fall off too. Yeah, flip-flops. I wore them a lot the last little while. I wanted to tell a little bit of the story. I know I've been away for a long time. Do you remember me from way back when you were little?
Now he's 4.
And now he's 4. Well, I was gone for 4 months, a third of a year, which is a long time. So I wanted to create a little story. So I made this little book called There and Back Again.
Yeah.
And anyone who's familiar with The Hobbit will know that this was the name of Bilbo's book after his adventures. Well, my adventures were good, but I didn't meet any dragons. And I don't think I met any orcs.
Lucas,
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I'll tell everyone else the story. They'll come back. So anyway, I don't think I met any orcs. Maybe a couple of times came close, but anyway, I put together a story of kind of a reflection of the people, the places, and the things where I experienced love over this time. And so it starts with my home. And for the first couple of weeks, I didn't do anything except sit, pretty much. There he is. This is my inside of my house. Yeah. And I love being there. That's something that's really important. But I also love the outside, to be able to sit and see the mountains and the lake and smell the air. Well, the air hasn't been terribly nicely smelling this year, but most of the time it's pretty good. And one of the things that I did while I was in my home was I read a lot of books, and I love books. And I actually like to have a book that I can hold. I'm too old to enjoy the books on tablets. I like books I can hold in my hands. So these are a few of the books that I read over these last months. I also love music, and I really love my piano. And I feel so lucky to be able to sit and touch those keys and feel like I'm part of this incredible instrument. And sometimes I can even make good sounds come out of it. And so one of the things I did is I wrote music. I wrote two choir anthems, and I wrote a piece for Christmas for the congregation to sing. And it was hard work, but I loved doing it. Something else I love to do is to travel. And I took a plane, and then a train, and then a ferry, and then a bus, and then another ferry, and I arrived on Iona in Scotland. And this is the Abbey at Iona, and I actually stayed right in that building. And Iona is amazing. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. And I could feel at times the history of justice and peace that has been created there. But what I loved most about being there was this. This in ruins.
We once went to Victoria.
Did you?
Yeah.
There's neat things in Victoria too, isn't there? Well, this is where women worked for almost 400 years. And the nuns there took in women who had lost their husbands and were on their own. They took in children that were orphans that had lost their parents, and they took in young women who were having babies that had no one to care for them. For 400 years they did that work here. And when I sat in the ruins here, I could feel that love that was still present all this time later. And then I just loved Scotland. It is beautiful and wet and cold and so green, and there's castles everywhere. That's a castle.
I have a friend from my school who lived in Scotland.
Is that right? That's pretty neat. I also love to eat. And this was my first Scottish breakfast. There was bacon and sausage and eggs and beans and mushrooms and grilled tomatoes and black pudding and potato scone. I didn't have lunch. Doesn't that look good? You love tomatoes? Do you like tomatoes?
No.
No.
We both don't like celery.
Celery's kind of funny
My son loves tomatoes when they're cooked.
when they're cooked. These ones were cooked. And fish and chips.
We love those.
Oh, I know. This was the best. This was so good. I ate at this restaurant 3 times. It was so good. I loved their fish and chips.
Bugs and cheese.
Looks like bugs and cheese.
It looks like bugs and cheese.
Yeah, at Boston Pizza, they have bug-shaped noodles.
Oh, those were French fries. They're called chips there, and they're really good. I put on 10 pounds. I also love to drive, and I got in that car with a little trailer behind it, and I drove all the way to Ottawa, Ontario. And 850 kilometers every day. And I loved it. And I loved stopping and camping overnight each time. And boy, did I sleep. See the little trailer? That's where I slept.
Wow.
And then I got to Ottawa, and I saw my 3 grandchildren, my Hyla and Zoe and Peyton. And I love them a lot.
Yeah.
I miss them.
Yeah.
Another thing I love,
More food.
Fries and
And
hot dogs.
Pronto Pops. These are Pronto Pops. They only make them one place in the world, and that's in North Bay, Ontario. And it's like a pogo, except it tastes good. And they write the name. The name of the restaurant is called Ivan's, and so they write the name on the Pronto Pop with mustard. And I had 16 of them. 16 over 8 days. That's why I put on 10 pounds. The other thing that I got to do was I stayed at my mom and dad's place, this is their house, and we had all of our family there for a big celebration, and it was so nice to spend time with aunts and uncles and cousins and nieces and nephews and brothers and sisters and all of that. It was
It's cool
really
how
fun.
the TV
Shows the same thing. I know, it's magic. And then, of course, I love coming home to the beautiful mountains of British Columbia, and it was so nice to get back here and enjoy that. And of course, most of all, I just am so blessed to have a wonderful partner who I love and who was with me on all of this. And finally, I got back home to my family here, which I also love. And what I learned...
And how come there's a star on the TV? And how many book it is? And,
I don't know. Oh, that's because it's the end. But what I learned was that love lives everywhere. And I found the most amazing sign when I got home. which says, love lives here. And it's my new Trinity, because it's 3 words, and it's love lives here, love lives here, and love lives here.
Amazing.
And that's my story to there and back again. So thank you for listening. And I may say a little bit more about things that I did, but that's it for now. Let's sing Jesus Put This Song. And you might know this because you've been singing it for a while here. Do you know this one?